It's about that time. What's happening in your city? You got love for your city? City Views. City Views. City Views. City Views. Oh, City Views. City Views. City Views. Oh, City Views. City Views. City Views. City Views. Oh, City Views. City Views. City Views. City Views. City Views. Oh, City Views. 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 And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of CT Views. I'm your host, Jacque Williams, and as always, I'm honored and thrilled to be here, bringing you local community broadcasting each and every week, right here from your local access Altice Channel 5. You heard? Spread the word. Now today, we got a great show lined up for you. Have Holly and Mark Dailey here with us tonight, and they're going to be talking about a special community event that they're working on and that we're so proud to help them promote. So with that being said, we want to take this opportunity to recognize and thank our sponsors for their generosity and support. We want to give a big, huge shout out to Mel Brickman and Health Markets, located at 16 McDermott Ave, Suite number 1 in Torrington, Connecticut. You better call Mel. He can be reached at 860-496-7771 or at healthmarkets.com/local-health-ins. The Northwest Connecticut Area Chamber of Commerce, located at 59 Field Street, Suite 120 in Torrington, Connecticut. The Chamber is the place to be. They can be reached at 860-482-6586. And Dr. Michael Curry, located at 30 Peck Road, Suite 2105 in Torrington, Connecticut. Pediatric care for over 50 years. He can be reached at 860-482-8177 or at torringtonpediatrics.com. Now, while I have you guys here tonight, I gotta get this off my chest, okay? Because last night's game between UConn and Michigan it's being discussed all over the net, okay? Now, me being from the Midwest, being a Big Ten guy, however, my alliances have changed now that I'm here on the East Coast, and we can't give enough credit to the UConn basketball program, both boys and girls. And I am here to testify today on cable TV that we got the best program in the country, bar none. Hats off to Michigan and what they did last night. Did a great job. But I knew going in that they were probably going to be the better team all year long. They were a machine. And I think it kind of puts in perspective what's going on with this new NIL and the new alignment that the college program has implemented. Not that I like it, but this is what's going to happen in the future. You're going to see these teams come together in 1 year and just put together just like whatever. And then that's it. Some of the guys will go pro. Who knows? But it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out the next few years as, and I hate to say it, money takes over the sport. Me and my buddy Richard Ormsby, we go around this all the time. He thinks it's a great thing for the players to get paid, and I'm not against players getting compensated, but where do you draw the line between scholastic endeavors, academic endeavors, and athletic endeavors? When you go to college, you're getting a free education. That's the trade-off. You get a free education that most students are paying for unless they're on scholarship for academics to play a sport. And I do think that if your name, your brand is being used, then yeah, you should receive some type of royalty or compensation for that. I'm not against that. But just flat out paying college players to play ball, if you're that interested in making money, you should be good enough to go pro. And if you're not a pro, why should you be getting paid? I don't get it. Maybe I'm a little dated on the issue, but that's how I feel about it. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. Nonetheless, let's get down to the show. And I'm sure they're probably like mortified now. It's like, man, you're supposed to be interviewing us. You ain't supposed to be giving a monologue. No. Who do you think you are, Johnny Carson?
We're good.
No, love it. Love
it. So with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Holly and Mark Dailey. So glad to have you guys on the show. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Carice called me this afternoon and said, Jacque, we got to get these two individuals on the show. And Carice is very aware of the fact that sometimes you have these issues that are just very, very pertinent issues. And the sooner that we can bring them to the community's attention, the better relief we can get for these situations. And you never know when other people that are watching the show or listening might want to give assistance. So I think this is so noteworthy what you guys are doing. But I'm going to exit stage left, turn the floor over to you, and you can begin, or you. We want to flip a coin?
No, we will fight it out. You can start.
Well, I mean, I know you guys.
I think you should flip a coin.
No,
nothing like another sports analogy to get the.
That's right. There you go.
But Holly, we'll start with you because it's beauty before brains. Okay. So talk to our audience a little bit about the project that you guys are working on and why it's so important to our community that this takes place.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot, but to put it in a nutshell, we went up to the community center in Litchfield. A lot of people know about it. It's amazing what they've done. And we've had people say, yeah, but they had this, a donor, which is true. But they started in '96 in the basement of a church. And it was actually a teen center they started, ironically. And then in 2000, they did get money for the building. So the building was the big catalyst that caused it so that they could take off. And the concept of a community center is just so flexible. There's so many things you could do there.
Every community has one.
Do they?
It's in the center of their community.
It would be nice, but that's usually the green. I don't know. So I guess that was part. We've thought about things like bringing the community center together. And then when COVID hit, it really just made it more important. And people have social issues. They're isolated. We know someone whose wife went through a lot of changes throughout. She didn't leave her house after COVID. She was okay before that. Things they've noted with children, the social issues. To this day, she is not. Yeah. No, that's just one person we know. So we started thinking about how valuable it could be. And this one is located in more of a downtown than Litchfield.
Right.
So all the more valuable. Mark worked at the teen center. I volunteered. We spent time there, and Brett Simmons is great.
Brett, oh, rest in peace, Brett.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And he kind of saw the beginnings. He did show us the upstairs. We did a few teen events there. I don't know if you remember Minute to Win It games. Those are awesome. Kids love them.
That's
adults.
A kid
That's
adults.
Adults.
Yeah,
that's $1 million game.
Yeah, I played that with my girlfriend.
Yeah, we gave
Not for $1 million.
We gave them theater tickets.
Money,
Yeah, you could trade all sorts of things.
Yeah, we were dreamers.
You could trade whatever you want. So, So the movie theater gave us tickets. We'd do a raffle, but these teens that I know can be problems and troublesome were like doing these minute-to-minute bottle flipping, all these simple, and like we feel like little kids again. They kept saying this stuff. It was really great.
Yeah.
And so that was in the upstairs where the dance studio is. So we were talking about utilizing that more. And apparently nobody was able to get the tumbling equipment out of the way, which is what happened on February 17th. They had a meeting. And that was one of the questions and the statements that was made was that we can't really utilize the space. So that became a catalyst to sell the building because they were like, well, we can't really use it. Park and Rec can't use it, so why should we keep it? Teen Center shut down. They defunded it after the grants left. So we've really felt like it would be the time for somebody to step up and bring it into reality.
Yep.
And all these people through the years have loved the idea. People love the idea.
Absolutely.
Who doesn't love a community center?
You know, and kids today are challenged because it's a different world than what we grew up in.
Yeah.
And I think we had our best times at the rec center, you know? And I don't know how it would have affected what we were doing if we were living in the age of social media. However, I do feel like there will be, everything comes and goes in circles and trends and fads. So I think resurrecting your concept of a teen center will bring back that element of children, or should I say parents, wanting their children to have social interaction other than social media interaction.
I think that's the desire of most parents. They want to get the kids off the games. And even if they're playing video games in that setting, at least it gives them the social in person.
Right. And that's so necessary because obviously one of the downfalls of coming out of COVID was that social separation. And people are still trying to adjust, young people are still trying to adjust to that.
Absolutely. They lack those skills.
Right.
And even then, as human beings, we have too many things, televisions, video games, like we're saying, that can keep us inside. Winter was tough. So, and the thing that we noticed, we were at a game night a couple weeks ago, did board games, we did bottle flipping. There were like 30 people that everybody felt so good.
Bottle flipping.
Oh, you never done bottle flipping?
Bottle
that is
flipping.
The minute to win it game.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
It's awesome.
Oh, wait a minute.
It's the most fun.
Hold up, though. These are kids, right?
No, adults. Well, that's the thing.
I was getting ready to say because you guys limit some of the bottles. You know what I mean?
No, we weren't doing
They're water bottles.
Okay.
Partially filled
I'm just checking it out. You know?
Partially filled with water.
Yeah.
And you have to flip it over and it has to land on its base.
Right.
You got to get 10 of them in a minute.
Yeah.
And what do you get in that minute?
Bragging rights. And you can't drink some because it'll mess up the weight of it. So
They're
you can't do one of those.
Well, what fun is that?
But the competition gets going. And here's the thing: you got this video of the minute to win it wheel that ticks down and gets louder and more up, like scary sounding, and people are like 10, 9.
It builds up the stress. And when we did it at the teen center upstairs, the kids are like, the music is driving us crazy. It's stressful. It's too loud. It's my time. We're out of time.
And that's our idea. The concept is at this building.
Yeah.
Have more adults do more activities where teens can be part of it.
Right.
So you have more eyes on the teens. It's not going to be just teens hanging out alone type of thing.
Right. Teens need mentors.
They do. And we've had people who want to do that, want to tell them about trades. There was a man who put on this building across from the senior center, Kitty Corner, a $36,000 valued roof. Few years ago, 3-4 years ago. It was donated because he remembered and it was his town, and he thought it was a wonderful thing to keep going and to and he also wants to participate. He said, I want to tell kids about trades, different things they can do with their life. And there's people coming up to us all the time who want to partake and share. We know people who are artists. We all know people that can do things, and they want to share it.
Yeah.
So that's our concept, to bring in volunteers, lots of volunteers. So it's not going to be costly, because that's the one question from taxpayers that we get that sounds negative, but it's not. They say, what's this going to do to my taxes? And it won't affect the taxes. The building, get this, the building was built almost, it was like 90 something years ago.
Right.
In 1969, it was given to the city for $0. $0, and it was listed on their city papers as for a recreation community center.
It was that for zoning purposes, or?
Probably.
Because I was going to say, I know you guys have some challenges in acquiring this, but I think the zoning might even help you guys in that situation.
It's the same use. It is. That's what they wanted the building to be. Now, if you built a building and then gave it to the city and you put down what use it was for, you'd think that that would be okay to respect that use and be like, this is what they wanted it for, and the people want that.
Right.
So that's our dilemma.
Yeah.
I don't believe that that's legally binding because it wasn't written in the conditions of giving the building.
Right.
But you would think ethically and just doing the right thing, it would make sense to continue the use of it as it was, if at all possible.
And two, you kind of want that consistency, because it's already kind of recognized as what that is. And I'm sure if you put some new tires on an old car, it'll drive a lot better.
Yes,
so
good analogy.
When people know what's in their community and where those resources are, then they can pause for the cause.
Yeah. It was also noted, because we started, when we found out that they wanted to sell it, we started digging around everything we could, because we always thought, the building's been there over 90 years. It's not going anywhere. We never thought they would say, we're going to sell it and in fast order, and it's going to go through quickly. And so we started scrambling, and we started finding out a lot of information about the place. It was also a senior drop-in.
Oh, wow.
At Center. And so the seniors have been coming up big with we had a petition we started, and they were signing it because it could be a senior center 2.0. Why not have bingo after hours, for people who don't go home early?
I'm there. Now, while we're talking about this, what's the address of so our audience knows what
71 East Albert Street.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm sure our audience is familiar with that building, right across from the Senior Citizens, Sullivan Senior Citizens building. And that part of town, with the river additions that they're doing, the walkway with the baseball park and whatnot. So, that part of town can really use a boost of momentum and have more foot traffic in that area. And, there are a couple of retail store outlets in that vicinity too. So they would definitely benefit from the excess traffic.
And doesn't everybody in Torrington say, there's nothing to do? That's what we find people saying. And they come up with it. We saw a Facebook page one time and it said, how about this? How about that? Like individual things. And nobody can make it as a business, say rock climbing, or these things have been tried.
Bowling alley. That's been tried.
Yeah.
A racetrack or whatever. But you put it all together in one building and you start utilizing volunteers. Yeah. You can, I think, do a lot more activities.
Oh, man. And I think a lot of these new concepts, for example, the new creative marketplace, I think they're tapping into that diversity of retail that can almost rejuvenate some of these older buildings and give vendors access at very, very low rates.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that's a real good model.
There's also the aspect of that this building actually is a historic building. So shouldn't it get some protection and some these
That's grantable as a historical.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah.
And from what we understand from the things we've read, planning and zoning did not give it a full approval. It had to go there. What they said was that it should receive a thorough assessment for things like its historic value, its use for the community. Park and Rec also voted unanimously to not sell the building. Problem is, legally, they could override that, and legally they could not accept the recommendation of the planning and zoning. But that doesn't seem like the right way to do it to us. We think it should be fully evaluated. Let the people know so that they have some access to this, because everyone we talked to afterwards, including St. Peter's Drum Corps, who's met there since the 1969 is what we think, because that's when he said they were in the 60s and it was transferred to the city for $0. And they've been meeting there, and now he heard it from us.
They had no idea, just like we did. It
Right.
was only because a friend we ran into said, "Did you hear? Last night the vote went up to sell the building," and we were shocked. We had no idea.
So we went online and we looked at the meeting and heard what was said, and it was, considering what we think a very valuable building, it was about a 10-minute thing with a presentation from Public Works, who did state problems like ADA access.
Yeah.
There were some things like he didn't think anybody was meeting there except the dance studio, and St. Peter's was indeed and had been and didn't know. And so that might have been a consideration. What we wanted to bring was, he thought that they didn't know about that. In fact, we had tried to reach Park and Rec a number of different ways and didn't hear back. So we didn't know. We didn't know about it. The vote.
First of all, we hadn't realized that the teen center the September before had been defunded. We had no idea.
Oh, wow.
So since then, come fall, we knew the schedule of it.
Yeah.
They were only open during school seasons,
Yeah.
school days. So we were watching when school started. We passed through there a lot of times, and we were watching, and we were like, "Oh, there's no activity." And Holly kept prompting me. She's like, "We need to check on that. We need to check on that." So finally, in January, I believe it was on the 7th, January 7th or 17th, I sent an email to the new director of Public Works, and I was like, "We were wondering, we haven't seen any activity there. Could you please fill me in on what the status of the building is?"
Yeah.
And I got no response. I think I waited probably a week or two for a response. I was like, "Everybody's busy. I understand that." And then I followed that up with a voicemail, and still no response. And I thought that was a little bit odd. And if he had responded and told us that the teen center had been defunded, told us that they voted to keep the building, but the city council overrode that, we certainly would have been at the vote meeting.
Of course.
For it, and we would have been able to have the opportunity to present our proposal,
Right.
which I can't say for sure. They might have been, the city might have been just dead set on selling it, but I can't help but think that somebody on the council might have given some pause and said, "Gee, maybe this is worth at least taking a second look at."
That's why it's important to get these items on the agenda, so that, the public does feel included in these matters that, affect all of us in our community. But I think it's important to understand that you're making this proposal from a different perspective. You're coming into it as residents, private residents in a community that want to help the community as opposed to a business that might be wanting to come in there and make it for a profit.
Correct.
How do you view that as you put your plan together for your presentation to the city? In other words, what are the pros and cons to you acquiring the space as opposed to someone who might be wanting to do this for profit?
I guess, well, part of it is I can't even imagine any other usage of the building that would be more beneficial to the community. It's like you can put a dollar amount on either, and that was part of what we were told. If we were to put a bid in, I personally don't think that we as private citizens should have to bid on a building that we're doing for the good of the people. You know, that we have nothing to gain from this. I don't want any money.
Right.
I'm not looking for a job.
Right.
So I don't really see, if I'm going to put personal money in, we have money that we would invest in this if we were to get it. But I want it to go directly to the cause. Exactly. I want it to go to improving the building, to doing programs or whatever if I put my money in. And I think that for the city to not recognize that and it'd be like, no, you need to bid like anybody else. Yeah, that just doesn't seem fair, and I don't know what to say beyond that, really. It's
don't the people lose if a private business goes in there and say you get a dentist office or something, it's only meeting those needs. This is something, that's the beauty of this. It's flexible. It's all demographics.
Right.
You're not limited. It's not the Warner where you can't afford it or something. You know, this is doable. You could do movie nights, no problem. You know, you could.
There's only one problem with that. You might get a lot of big kids like me checking theirs out.
That's what we want.
That's
it's
okay.
the melding. The melding of the ages and the people. Litchfield Community Center has already done it, so
their programming is pretty.
It's pretty good.
Yes,
we could tell you so many things we've gone up there for, but a lot of people won't or don't hear about it or can't. But it's amazing, and they would help us with things like connections for programming.
Absolutely.
They are wonderful people, so we wouldn't be reinventing the wheel. We'd be like following.
And the advantage you have too, I think, is the fact that you're centered downtown.
Sure.
Yes.
You know, I like that.
You don't have to. You can walk there. People.
Yes. Exactly.
There's a lot of foot traffic, whether it's populated or you know.
The LCS, they do a great job, but you can't walk there.
Correct.
You know.
Right. Yeah.
It's not embedded in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's definitely will work to your advantage.
Yeah. When we did the nights that Brett had us do, and they covered the cost because the thing is, the city, people can't just go into a city building and use it. You have to have $1 million insurance policy. We've seen people walk out of meetings and they were heartbroken because they said, I can't do that. I'm just a person. I wanted to do this for the teens or something. You also have to pay for someone to be there throughout, to open and close and clean up. It costs prohibitive there, and usually they waive the fees for nonprofits, but most people can't do this. That's why I think it almost has to be a private sector thing. So when we looked at the council, we said, it's not that we expect you to do this, because it's not really going to run effectively. You've got to decide, well, we're going to put in this program, or we're going to change to that because yoga's better than Tai Chi or whatever.
Yeah. Well.
So, you can't change
That's
it.
like peanut butter and jelly.
You do both, I'm sure, wonderfully. I'm like,
well, we can do both. That's the beauty of it. The whole thing is in flux. It's like whatever the needs of the community are, we can easily change it. It's like if you have one specific program in there, it's just most usually is a niche program, but that's the beauty of this, is that we can flex with whatever the needs are. If somebody comes up with a better idea than we have, that's fine. It's like if that's what the people want.
Remember, Berta told us that they had somebody say, why do we need a community center here? You know, why do we need it? And she said, now that we've been here, they're saying, how did we get along without it? It's just so much help to people. There's so many things you could do with it. People donate food for family dinners. They have pizza and salad and game nights. Why not? We're just like, please give us a chance. This could be up and running in no time. Give it a chance. Why be so quick to sell the building that's been there for 90 some odd years, that was intended, wonderfully given to the city for a recreation community center? That was the intent. Yes, legally can they do it, but is it right? I mean, I just can't get past that. Those people built that building.
Yeah.
They put their sweat and blood into it, so to speak. And then, I mean, they're not around anymore, probably. Yeah. So, but to say, oh, we're going to sell it and the money will just kind of dissipate into the general fund. Mm-hmm. What do they get for it?
That's very short-sighted.
Who knows?
It's like that money will be gone, and we won't even really know what it went to. And I doubt that if, say, they sold the building for X amount of dollars, I don't think any of the residents are going to feel that in their tax bill, in their benefits, or anything else. That's just going to evaporate for the people.
Yeah. We were in church on Easter, and there was a family in front of me, 5 people, and the father was holding his son, who's kind of tall. I was like, wondering he's holding him. And then the music got quieter because our church is a little bit, edgy, so it's kind of loud. And you could tell then the son started making some noises, maybe developmental, definitely. And so the father, they were so polite. He took his family and started leaving, and I felt so bad. So I was right towards the back, said, no, we have a room where you can go and watch. And he was like, really? He's this strong guy, big guy, not real tall, but He said, tears started coming. He started crying. He just, how little to offer somebody, and it meant so much to him.